Hello, Sagittarius. Elsie here to do your reading. It is for the week ahead. Saggies, how are you? I hope you're well. Thanks for showing up here. My fire family. Look, I haven't read from Lenormand in a minute. So we're going to do that right now. Throw some energy on the table with Lenormand, then we'll get at it with some tarot. How are you, Sag? Hope you're well. You enjoying this Mercury Cazimi? I am so clear in the mind these days. Excited, lots of energy since yesterday, and happy new moon in Cancer all at once, right? Let's find out what's going on for you, Sagittarius. For the week ahead, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter signs, all of you. Let's find out what's going on. Sagittarius. Oh, very interesting. You are clever. I'm going to say you are clever. I feel, Sag, that there are some words being exchanged about you. It does feel like there is a lot of gossip, maybe a little bit of chitter chatter. I feel like you are very resourceful and that you are very clever, I'm going to say. You know who this is. It feels like you know who this is, and you're going to take care of it the way Sag would take care of it. It feels like there is maybe some defensive energy or a group of people or a person that I think that you've been leery of or wary about for a while, but you're clever. You're always a step ahead. That's what it feels like when I look at the fox. I'm always a step ahead, so don't play. Don't play with me. It feels like with this whip and the broom. The whip and the broom is something that happens really quickly, but it stings. You see what I'm getting at here, right? It feels like there is someone here or a group of people who are gossiping about your life. And it feels like the gossip is coming from something that you're doing or growing, or, you know, there's people who are always sort of a bit jealous or envious about growth. And I feel like it's people who are saying things that possibly aren't true, but you know how gossip is. It's a mixture of truth and lies, right? But the whip and the broom tells me that they're not even going to see it coming. I feel like you've been looking deeply into something. You've been investigating, looking deeply into something, seeing something deeper than what it is. Feels like this could be your intuitive energy. It feels like sniper energy, I'm just going to say. And you're not going to feel bad doing it, but I feel like you're going to get more information. So it feels like you're stacking. I'm going to say, pun intended, you're stacking the deck. It feels like you know what's going on. You've been hearing what's going on, and they're not even going to see you coming. They're not going to hear you coming. What's that? Hang on. What's that? I'm hearing a song. Hang on. God, what is the name of that group? It's called Inner Ninja. Nobody's going to hear a sound. Nobody's going to see me coming. Nobody's going to hear a sound. They're not even going to know that I found my inner ninja. What the heck is that about? You guys are so silly. Okay, so let's look at some tarot a little bit, because it does feel like you are clever. They think they're one step ahead. They think you don't know that they've been talking behind your back. Some sort of gossip has been going on. And I feel like, because I'm saying because the whip, right? The whip is something that happens really quickly. And I only know that because a friend of mine had been in Australia, learned how to use a whip, came back to Canada and said, just stand there. I'm just going to do this. It's really cool. And through the whip, and I didn't hear a damn thing until it snapped right beside my ear. So you don't ever hear the whip coming, but look, we've got the Jack of Clubs in the bottom. That's the Knight of Wands. They're not even going to know it until you are standing right in front of them. It's like you walk into a room of people who are talking about you. And I think that you know where they're going to be and that they're going to be there, and then you just show up and boom, there we are. Let's find out what else is going on here. We've got the Four of Wands. So that's the thing. It feels like you keep stable. You keep calm. You don't go after anybody, yell at anybody. I feel like you're being very strategic in how you're going to handle this. This feels like a group of people that you possibly have suspected something's going on, because it feels like they have neglected to invite you places. Possibly this group of people or this person, they say, no, I can't make it, I'm not feeling well. And then you see pictures on Insta, you see pictures on Facebook that they've gone out with somebody else. I feel like you are keeping a very stable head about you, I'm going to say. It feels like this is, you're going to be nice when you see them, and you're not going to let them know what you know until you're ready to divulge it all. So I think that the Ace of Wands tells me that you're not in the Spitfire energy. You are, but you're not. You're keeping it under wraps here. Because I feel like you're going to set them up to a place where you walk up to them while they're talking about you. I think that you're a step ahead here. Tell me one more card. Yep, that's what you're going to do, friend. They're going to be talking about you. You're going to walk up and you say, hey, how you doing? I thought I heard my name. It's very Sagittarius. Let's find out what's going on. Let's keep drawing cards here. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the King of Cups, absolutely. And we have the Hierophant. We have the Empress. Well, there it is. That makes more sense to me. So the Empress, whether you are the masculine or the feminine Empress, the Empress is Libra and Taurus, which accounts for feminine and masculine energy. This is what I think is going on. The Eight of Wands is velocity, right? It's velocity. It's moving quickly. We have 9 wands here, 9 wands in the corner of this card here. You know, it feels like I'm looking here. I'm always looking at numbers and how they pertain to tarot and yada yada. 14 is the number of temperance. That is the number of Sagittarius. I feel like there is something here that you've suspected that's been going on. And I feel like it's because you're the wounded warrior. You become very attuned to watching people's patterns. And I feel like you suspect something's going on, but you really don't have any solid proof that something is going on, but I think that proof is coming because the Six of Pentacles is here. And it feels like there is somebody who's going to be very practical with you and say, you know, I was out the other night and while I was here, so-and-so was saying that. I feel like you figure it out somehow, but I also feel like you probably walk in on a group or a person, like you walk up right behind them while they're speaking out loud, but you're not going to show it on the surface. You're going to pretend you didn't hear it. You're going to pretend it didn't bother you. Unbothered energy is the King of Cups. And although there's a lot of tumultuous things going on under the surface, right? You can see the king is sort of being thrown to and fro, but is staying sturdy in the storm. I think that you have the ability to stay sturdy in the storm. You could have a Scorpio placement. You don't have to, of course, because there's a lot of people who can stay sturdy in the storm. This really just talks about being emotionally aware. And when you're emotionally aware, you're not going to walk into a public place and throw things around, cause a scene. That's somebody who doesn't have any emotional awareness. They have no emotional control. That's a child's mind, right? Even if it's in an adult's body. I don't think you're like that. I feel like somebody is about to tell you what's going on. And I don't think you're really going to give them anything. You're not really going to say how you feel about it either way. But you do feel a way about it because the King of Cups is here, being thrown around to and fro. You know what I feel? I feel like that when you do collect everything, all the information, all the practical things, I feel like it's you that has the whip in hand. It does feel like that. When it's time, right? When it's time, 11s. When I'm feeling the most balanced, 1 and 1 is 2. And we have 2 here. When I'm feeling the most balanced, that's when I'm going to stand on business. That's when I'm going to tell them, look at all those equations on the board. That's when I'm going to teach them or school them. That's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it with a straight face. I'm going to stand on business and just tell them what I know. So I feel like you can do that because you are the Empress. And the Empress is somebody who is knowing their worth. And so I don't even think that the things that they're saying really offend you. I think that what offends you the most is they're playing you for a fool, and you're not a fool. And so I feel like it is something that you do that's very clever. So it feels like, boom, snap, right? It shows up and you are standing there and somebody is saying exactly what they're saying when you walk in the room. And then you just stand there with your arms crossed and wait for them to finish. Tell me about the 4 of Wands. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. We've got the Justice card. Oh boy. And the Fool. You're going to show them who you are, but you're just not going to do it in the way that they think you are. The 4 of Pentacles tells me, even when I go to the celebrations, when everybody's there or this person is there, I'm going to remain solid, grounded. I'm just going to partake in the happiness and the celebration of whatever the situation that is that's going on. I'm going to celebrate whatever's going on with you. But the 4 of Pentacles tells me the reason that you're not saying anything is because you're too smart to do that. It feels like you're shut down, shut off. I'm not going to bring this into a place where everybody is. I'm not going to cause a kerfuffle. The Fool energy tells me, though, this is a new day for you. And I don't think you used to handle things like this. It feels like you didn't, before maybe you would just confront somebody no matter where you were, no matter what it is. You probably just confronted them immediately. You didn't care about who it was going to bother, who was around you. But I think you've become too emotionally intelligent, and really that's respect for self. And I feel like you found your self-respect, because if you are in the Empress energy, this is someone who remains balanced in all situations. And it isn't that you're avoiding it, it's that there's a time and a place for everything. And I feel like you are realizing that, or you've realized that. You're just going to keep your head about you. It feels like this is the Fool tells me that you are in a place you've never been at before. Because maybe you're the person who just would have bumped chests and said, come on, right now. You want to do it? Let's do it right now. But I don't think you're doing that. I feel like this is a new day for you. The Justice card is here. It tells me you're in harmony. You're balanced. This is something that I want to make right again, but I'm not going to do it in the way I used to do it. I'm just going to listen, take notes, and then when I'm ready, I'll come at them like the whip, and they won't expect it at all. Tell me about the Six of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Wands. We've got the Queen of Swords. And we've got the Queen of Wands. Look, they think you've lost your fire. That's what it feels like. Somebody here feels like you've lost your fire. The Queen of Swords is here, very intellectual. Is somebody who does things without emotion, right? I'm not really going to get upset with you. I'm not going to yell in your face. I'm not going to freak out. But I am going to take care of things the way the Queen of Wands would. Because what you don't know is I'm packing matches, and I will burn the whole thing to the damn ground. Don't test me. That's what it feels like. Because I think you already have the information by the time you go wherever it is you go, that you bump into this energy. And I feel like you are walking into the room as the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords. I'm just going to be honest, and I will be calm. Like so calm, it will be eerie. 14. Temperance. I will be so calm with you, it'll be eerie. But don't forget my spark. Because I brought the lighter. I brought the... This is of course metaphorical, right? Nobody's burning anything down. But I will bring my fire, and you won't even know it hit you. So I feel like you're going to a place, being invited to a place. It feels like you're keeping your fire tucked away in your back pocket here. It feels like you're going to a place where you're going to be talking to people, giving reciprocal energy to people, being silly as the Page of Wands would, being in your excited, silly self, I would say. But I think there's something going on that's way deeper here that people in the room don't realize, because you've had some sort of a transformation into the Empress energy, and the Empress has respect for self. It's not that you're not doing it because you don't think that you should be held accountable. You're keeping it within because that's how you respect yourself. That's how you remain in the Empress energy. I think that you are remaining solid and grounded, and I'm good. Don't worry about me. But wait. Let's talk about this Hierophant energy, because I think you've learned something. It feels like you've really learned a lesson. It feels like you are in this energy of being the teacher. So when the Queen of Swords is in the room and the Hierophant's here, it's like I'm a teacher of truth and honesty. And truth doesn't give a crap if you like the truth. The truth is what it is. And so I feel like you're just going to be very solid and grounded. But I think that you're not going to back out. You're not going to back up. You're going to say, this is what I know, and here's the proof. And they're not going to like how that stings. Because that might happen in a group of people, but I don't think you're going to lose your crap about it. You may just snuggle up to them with a glass of wine and say, hey, this is what I heard. Smile on your face, right? Let's talk about the Hierophant. I feel like you've built something, a structure. Maybe you're far more well emotionally structured. The Eight of Wands is here, so you haven't lost your fire. The velocity within you is not lost. But I feel like it's this power within comes from being the wounded warrior, having to deal with the same situation over and over and over again. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have the King of Wands. Yep, I think you're going to be ready to talk about it and approach somebody and talk about it when you need to. The Nine of Swords is a little bit of anxiety about knowing that this is happening in the future, because you know it's happening. But the Ten of Swords is here. I really don't think that you intend to be this person's friend, these people, whatever it is. It feels like you're going to keep your head at wits about you. You're going to keep very grounded and solid, but you are not backing down. Like the Hierophant has self-respect, listens to the higher self, somebody who's really built a solid structure of who they are. And so I think that you're really confident about what you're going to be saying, because I think you're bringing receipts. You wouldn't be sad if you didn't bring receipts. So the King of Wands is here. I feel like you're King of Wands and Ten of Swords. I feel like when you finally do something, you are going to give the words that need to be said. It feels like you are going to be releasing someone from your life finally and letting them know all the things that they did to hurt you, because you found out that they were saying these things behind your back. So I feel like you really are going to be releasing someone, and you're never going back. And that's why when I see swords and fire next to each other, it's really harsh words. It's a really harsh release. So you're going to say, look, I never want to see your damn face again. I don't want to know your name. Lose my number. Get my name out of your mouth. And let's just deal with it that way. And I think while you're doing it, your heart is pumping. Your heart is pumping. The Nine of Swords is here. I think that you're more worried that it's going to affect the people around you. But I feel like you're going to wait and say it at the right time. But then there's no holding back, because the Eight of Wands is here. We're going to go into the extended, and we're going to talk about how healing that is going to feel for you, because it feels like this is probably a decision that you made, or a choice that you made to heal. And I feel like you're going to do everything that you are going to do in the very slow, grounded, methodical, practical way. I don't really think there's just going to be any yelling and screaming. I think they're going to be freaked out about how eerily calm you are. And I think it's because you have grown. You've really grown here. Yeah, see, the Knight of Swords is in the reverse, and that's not someone who's being aggressive. That's someone who's being truthful and honest and just listen to my words, because I'm only saying it once. Like, it feels like that. So the Queen of Pentacles is someone who's solid and grounded here. It does really feel like your choice is to remain in the Queen of Pentacles energy as you deal with this. Yeah, you're serious. You're serious. Because once you release this Ten of Swords, once you finally release it and say what you need to say, this is somebody who's stubborn, digging in their heels, doubling down. You will never see me again. This is the last time I'm going to say it, so you might as well listen. I'm going to go into the extended. If you want to be in the extended, we're going to talk about who this is, why it stings so bad, and what's your plan. Because you seem like you're dealing with this in a very clever way, I would say. Even though you're in the Nine of Wands, even though you've had enough, you're at your edge, you're burnt out, you're like, no more. Even though you're there to actually release something, to drop the burden of what's going on here. And that's for you, not for them. So coming to the extended, at the top of the comments, there is a pinned comment. There you will find the link to the membership area. Thank you, Mercury retrograde, for screwing with my words. My brain's not catching up to my mouth right now. I feel like when I'm in the Sag energy, I'm reading so fast, because it's like your energy is like boom, boom, boom. Anyway, sorry. Go to squirrel. So go to the membership area, click on the membership area if you're interested in that. If you're interested in seeing me pull this apart, all of the signs are there, by the way, if you're interested in that. There is a private read sale on right now. And it is 10% off of all my pre-records. So if you're interested in all of that, please know that there are only 48 hours left for you to get in on that deal. And they're all lining up. So if you want to get in there before midnight on the 15th, then that would be the time to do it. I think I did say happy new moon to you. Oh, also, if you're in the membership, there is actually something additional to this sale there for you on the community board. So if you're interested in that, please go take a look. All right, now I'm out. I'm going to go. You be well, and I'll be back, because I'm always back. Take care, Sagis. Bye-bye.